Join us live on the Sherry Lord Talk Show podcast. Start your day off with the Higher Vibrational Podcast with weekly guests covering spirituality, healthy foods, and so much more. Go to SherryLord.com for more info. Join us live on the Sherry Lord Talk Show podcast. Start your day off with the Higher Vibrational Podcast with weekly guests covering spirituality, healthy foods, and so much more. Go to SherryLord.com for more info. Wow, that's been happening lately. We've been getting us a double plane. Well, that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Welcome and hello, everybody, to the Sherry Lord podcast. I'm your host, Sherry Lord, for the Spirituality and Authors podcast. And by the way, make sure you chat. We love it when people chat because we can connect with you. We'll answer your questions. And the other thing is we also are advertising ads. So if you want to make a paid ad, go to www.sherrylord.com. We would love to promote you, your product, or yourself. Or if you have an event going on, we have reasonable prices, and I think you'll enjoy what we have to offer because we want to be able to reach the mainstream and make it affordable for everyone. And we are so excited because we have KristiBorst on our show, and we've had her before. She's multidimensional, and she's a beautiful channel and teacher, and we're so happy to have her. So welcome, Kristi. We love having you.
Thank you, Sherry. So I just want to ask a technical question before I kind of jump in. I see you freezing. Is that you freezing or is that me freezing?
I think both of us. There's just been something going on with the internet lately, and just keep talking. Everything will kind of straighten out as we go. We're both kind of freezing here a little bit. We have a little technical issue is what's happening.
Okay,
and I'm in Florida, so we did have a storm coming through here, hurricane hit. So some of our own internet comes in and out right now. And I have a feeling we're going to be okay. I'm asking the angels to help hold the light to keep us on.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Well, let's just lift everybody that's, in the wake of the storm and just know that you're always safe and we're protected, and things will happen for our highest good.
Yeah, it has been interesting. We're fine where we're at, but 2 miles from me is very flooded, and we're just sending prayers for everyone in the midst of this, in the midst of all of this, and blessings and holding the light, and for everyone, for it to smooth out and not be as bad or devastated as it has been. We are so excited to have you, Kristi. And can you explain to our audience a little bit about you and what you do? And also your topic today will be expanding through nonlinear time, and you'll explain what all that means and how it affects us.
For sure. So my name is KristiBorst, and I am an intuitive spiritual healer as well as an earth intuitive. And what that means is basically that I get information from nature, from the earth, from my higher self, from God's source, the universe. And really all of us have these abilities, but to certain extents, we've been told, largely as children, that these dimensions were not real. So we kind of learned to ignore them or just, not pay attention. And in midlife, I had a series of events happen, starting really with this feeling that there was something more to me, something I was supposed to be doing, but I didn't know what that was. And having been kind of studying spirituality and just kind of opening myself to know more, I had read about manifesting and how the emotions are such a big part of manifesting. So I started to envision myself being more and opening myself to more awarenesses. And that's really kind of the biggest point I want to share in this topic, is that openness and allowing ourselves to get out of the mind and what we've been taught is a huge part of our evolution and this
Yes.
expansion process that's happening around the world. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of people are
So,
waiting. Yeah,
you know,
evolving.
and even talking about what's happening now in the weather.
Yeah.
Anytime there's a situation where we get triggered into fear, is an opportunity to work and expand through and beyond nonlinear time. So for some people, fear is inherited or learned from our parents. So if you're in this situation where you're in the storm and you're fearing that you're going to lose everything, that's an opportunity to go into that feeling of the fear of losing things, to understand or to detect where were you taught that life is not good or life is hard or you have to fight for everything you have, and to start to come into the present moment and feel how abundant you are and feel how safe you are and feel how protected you are. So for me, I can only really speak from my own experiences and from the work that I do with others in private readings and private perspective reboot sessions. But one of the things we learned is that you can't change the past. And that, I believe, is one of the biggest lies or the biggest untruths. And that's part of what I want to talk about today, because maybe you can't physically change the past, but you can change your reaction to the past. You can change your perception of the past. So I'd like to kind of give an example of that.
Yeah.
This past month, I fell and injured my shin. I bruised it down to the bone. And in that process of that physical wounding, I was able to go back to my child self who had had physical woundings and not been allowed to cry, had not been consoled for her boo-boos in a way that felt valid for her. So I went into that whole space through this present moment wounding to heal that girl who was still unconsoled. So sometimes these things that happen to us that seem bad, it's the universe or our higher self creating a portal for us, an opportunity within the challenge to actually dive in a little deeper and go to another space and time that's unresolved for us. Sherry, I don't know, is something coming to mind for you where that's happened for you?
Yeah, I had to heal some things, and you can heal that. You can heal the emotion to that, and feeling safe is the key as well. You know what I'm saying? And the that emotional part. Yes, I have, and I think all of us have at one point, not realizing it until it repeats itself. In a different situation, and it's still there, and it needs to be
Yeah.
transformed into love. Of yourself and of those
Yes.
moments and what happened, and forgiveness too, I believe. But I also feel, yes, we all have, and I think that is important to do, because it frees you up and it doesn't have to keep repeating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the other part of that, though, is that, some people have the concept that healing work is like you just want to like plow through it and be done. But when you don't plow through it, when you embrace it, and you realize that each time something comes up, it's an opportunity to clear a layer of gunk, a layer of, kind of heaviness, a layer that cannot be filled with love.
Yeah.
It's allowing you to expand yourself to hold more love, to
Yeah.
be more loving. And yes, forgiveness is a big part of it. I know, I was just thinking about this yesterday. There's a lot that happened with my mother growing up. And, she may have been doing the best that she could with what she knew. And I know as a mother, I have always strived to do the best I can. But
Yeah.
there's times when I didn't serve my child the way that my child needed. And I think the big part or the gap there is to actually apologize to other people when you realize that you have evolved from this person that you were, and to just say I'm sorry for for this or that. And
Very
so
good. Yeah.
when those words had never come to me, when those words had never come to the child self of me, I spoke those words to the child and said, I'm so sorry that you had to go through this, or that you experienced this. You didn't deserve it. It wasn't your fault. And to just show ourselves in these past tense ways the awarenesses that we have now. What do we know about the situation now that we didn't know in that less empowered moment? And the other way that this can play out, which I want to kind of shift gears to, is that I know in my being, and from this spiritual experience that I had with myself in another lifetime, that we are not one and done beings. We do come, I don't know if it's always into earth or if we go to other places, but we
Mhm.
have lived more than one time.
Yeah.
And sometimes when we're really triggered by a person, by a place, by a situation, it may be our higher self telling us to look
Hmm.
and to do some work beyond this time and space, beyond
Yeah.
this identity of who we are now. So, for example, if you've never been around horses, but you have like a deathly fear of horses, there may be another lifetime in which there was a reason to fear a horse, or you had a traumatic injury or death from a horse. So it's like not accepting that part of yourself as, oh, this is just how I am. It's looking at it, it's feeling
Yeah.
into it, it's going to the self and saying, why am I afraid of horses?
Right.
What can I do to get through this space?
No,
And all of it really helps us learn more about ourselves. Go ahead, Sherry.
no, absolutely. Because a lot of people have different things of fear, and if you look at the fear, it's really no fear. Once you dissolve that, you really look at it. People have a fear of water. You know what I'm saying? And people have a fear going over a bridge. Everybody has a different fear for different things, and I love what you're sharing, a technique or helping people to realize you just have to go in. And I like when you said ask why, and it'll get revealed. When you ask, it will get revealed. And I
Hmm.
think that is very important, because
Yeah.
there is a lot of situations and people don't know how to fear it. They just think, okay, it just is, and they live their life out like that. Well, you can actually change it, and that's what I hear you saying, is that you actually can change that
Yes.
and actually enjoy riding a horse, or enjoy being around a horse, or enjoy swimming in the water. And some people won't go in the water, but they love the water because they probably drowned or had death around it. And the cellular memories are still
Yeah.
there. Yeah. But you can heal that
And I
and
think
enjoy.
even just having the
Mhm.
awareness, yes,
Yes.
So even like having the ability to tell the mind, okay, I understand now why I'm afraid of horses,
Yeah,
because something happened in a past life. That in and of itself can be a huge freedom.
it is.
Um, I'm reminded of a person that I met, and it was in a spiritual group, and I was very triggered by this man. He loved to sing, and something about his voice really, rubbed me the wrong way, if you will. Um, and I had a reading with a psychic one time, and she told me that, oh no, what happened next was I was taking a tub, and I actually have a soaking tub. I was underwater, and my husband came in the bathroom and stood over the tub, and in that moment I had like a flashback memory of like drowning.
Mm.
And so a short time later I had a reading with a psychic, and she tuned into this lifetime where it was kind of pioneer days going across the prairies, and I was married to a man who loved to sing and play the guitar, and I like sassed him one time, and I guess he held me under the water, just kind of hoping to uh, teach me a lesson, but his adrenaline took over and he actually drowned me. And so it helped me connect to why I was feeling that way about that person. So then I could just flood him with unconditional love and forgiveness for
Yeah.
whatever the space that we were both in that lifetime.
That is huge because it's a freedom. It's such a freedom to do that and transform that and free yourself. I feel you'll have more joy, more love in your life and not be triggered, because a lot of people get triggered and they have to look at those triggers.
Right. And to have the ability to open your mind to understand that it's not necessarily a trigger from, whatever time you've lived as your present self. It may
Right.
be from another lifetime, it may be from another dimension. There's so
Yep.
much that the mind doesn't understand. Time is, if you read some of the masters in awakening, they'll say time is not linear. Everything's happening at once. It's just our minds that need to understand it in a linear fashion. So if you start to kind of allow your mind to expand and just imagine everything's happening at once, then you can go into other times.
Mhm.
A great example that keeps I keep hearing wanting to be shared is early on in my healing practice, probably in about 2014. I had a woman come to me because she was in stage 4 rectal cancer. She was doing chemotherapy, but she wanted to augment uh, traditional medicine with spiritual healing. And that is a wonderful thing to do, because things do start non-physically in our body as unease, and they can manifest as disease. So in the process of working with her, she had worked as in a suntan business, and had used the suntan booths, and so she
Mhm.
had a lot of fear and a lot of regret about that decision. So together, while I was holding this expansive container for her, she was able to go back and to, imagine herself either not using them so much, or wearing, a bathing suit bottom, while she was in the tanning booth. And she is still going strong,
Good for-
all these 10 years later. So
Wow.
we can change
Yep.
the negative effects of past decisions
Yep.
by morphing through this nonlinear understanding of time.
Absolutely. This is really good information. And very thorough for people to understand that there is something you can do, you know, to understand what it is and why it's occurring. I think is very important to have that awareness that it's not just is, you know, that you can do something and to go inward for it, because inward is the key, or get help with it. You know, there's a lot of light beings
Yes.
out there of service and can help you if you can't do it yourself, but you have the opportunity to do it. You have the power within you to do it, but some people need help with it, and that's okay too, because there's a lot of people out there
Yeah.
that help people with it. But it's getting to the core of it, what caused it, you know, and I think that's where the healing really starts, you know, once you shift it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think as well, you know, we do need one another. We are, you know, we are communal beings. We're human beings in this experience together. So we do need someone sometimes to, like I said, hold that resonance for us, hold that container.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I call my business Healing Resonance, because there is something innate in my voice, in my vibration, in the information that I channel that helps people have the keys to what it is that they are struggling with. And, you know, in the promo for this, Sherry, I mentioned my tattoo and
Yeah.
this experience where I actually
Oh, wow.
in a waking meditation while another person was had picked a flute to play for me and
Mm.
was channeling music for me. I could not have had this experience had it not been for his presence and his gift of channeling music for me. I um, I I went to this interfaith service, and this person said, you know, hold an intention. I'll play a song for you, you know, while you hold that intention. And my intention was merely, you know, back in the day, this was like probably 15 years ago now, to understand what that more thing was that I couldn't access on my own. And so I set that intention. I want to know more. I want to be open. I want to
Yeah.
understand what it is I'm supposed to do, right? And now I understand so much. It's not about the doing, it's about the being. Who do we
Yeah.
have to be? And
Yeah.
so as I closed my eyes, and with the first note he played, I was an eagle and I was
Uh,
flying over this forest, and I looked to my right, and my arm was a wing, and I could see the movement and the feathers undulating and guiding. And in the distance, I saw a native man. He had an eagle costume on. He was dancing around the fire, and I was that eagle that came for him.
mm.
And in that moment where our eyes met, I knew that that was me. I
Mm.
knew that that was me in another lifetime. And so, as I have this information and it's continued to kind of grow for me through these years, I understand that in that lifetime, I was not confident at all. And
Okay.
so I was doing that eagle dance, not even confident that an eagle would come. But here I was myself in this lifetime. I came in this vision to be the eagle. So, I mean, amazing experiences have unfolded for me in this energy of being open, in
Mm-hmm.
this energy of accepting myself as multidimensional, that I'm part of more than I understand, but I'm going to be open and out of my head, in my heart space, open and allowing
Yeah.
information to come through so I can learn more about myself, so I can experience more, so I can give more to humanity.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful, Kristi. I mean, you've had some amazing experiences. And it's also letting people, you know, who are watching, who have had experiences, understand the depths of it too. And those who may not, may have them, you know, and that they're important to you in your path and who you are in a deeper level. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is really good. Do you have
And I think
anything
as
else?
well, Sherry, that I think the only thing I was going to say is that, once I started being open to all this, I
Yeah,
wondered how many things I had missed before that because I wasn't looking. I wasn't
yeah,
aware. So, whenever you look is the perfect time. There's no space for regret in this. There's no space for self-judgment. It's
yeah.
just about loving yourself free to a greater level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because people can feel that. Are you just being? And they'll automatically feel that. You don't have to say a word, you know? It's your presence, which I think is really good. And being aware of that and opening the heart, opening yourself more. It's so infinite and unlimited. And it's there within us. It's right there. It's not outside of us, it's within us.
Yeah. And I do have, for people that sign up for my mail newsletter, which is really only about once a month, I do offer a little MP3 for easy steps for connecting to your heart-centered inner peace. Um, and I invite you to visit my website, releasingyourblocks.com, if you'd like a reading or have something, inner child healing or just some guidance. I can hold that space for you and help you kind of find that way inside through the, kind of the mire that we all create.
Yeah, we also have you running on the banner. I just clicked on that, and your information will be there as well. And you can also go to www.sherrylord.com. We have our information there. You just click on the link and you'll go right to her site. You're also on YouTube. Are you not on YouTube and Instagram? What are some of the social medias you're on?
Yes, I have a, yeah. My social media handle is Healing Resonance LLC. So that's, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I am on LinkedIn, but I'm not that active with that. But I do post to Facebook quite often. Spirit, wants me to share uplifting, and so when the spirit moves me, I share. I have a podcast, Perspective
Oh,
Reboot with Kristi
good.
Borst, which is available again on my site or the major players. Um, I offer pre-recorded chakra focused healing expansion sessions that are, available 24/7 for consumption. So yeah, I would love to connect with people and support your journey toward more and better because we're lifting one another, really. We are all in this together. um, you know I'll share with you, you share with me. It's
Yeah.
competition
That's
is
what it's
really an
all. Yeah.
outdated archaic energy.
It's all about sharing and connection and
Funny to
uplifting.
say while we're in the middle of Olympics, but
Yeah, I mean, so your website name is again?
releasingyourblocks.com. That's a special page that will go to a page I've built for this show, engagement with this show.
Yeah,
And there's booking options on there. Or, I love to write, so I have an extensive blog, lots of self-help there. So I would love to, have you be supported through what my experiences have brought to me, I share to others.
that is amazing. And it's so beautiful. Like I said, we love having you on our show. You always have a wealth of information to share. Make sure you check out her website and her social medias, and we'll have her back in the near future because we love having her insights and what she has to share with the world. And she is amazing. And you really need to experience, if you choose an experience with her, you will really, it'll be profound for you. She's a beautiful, clear channel and a healer. And like I said, we love having her on our show. I just want to say thank you, Kristi, for being on our show. and we'll have you back. And I just want to give a note. My guides keep saying, make sure I mention, I will be in Richland, Michigan. And if you can go to my website, www.sherrylord.com, I am doing a workshop/seminar September 14th. And that is in Richland, Michigan. And it's I'm a professional deep trance. We will be bringing in Arath. And we just want to let you know that we're looking forward to being there. And it's a lot of fun, a lot of uplifting, and we'll see you there. And thank you, Kristi. And make sure you go to Kristi's website and you go to her social media. We love her and we'll have her back. Thank you so much. Blessings all, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Love and light and prosperity and abundance to all.
Thank you, Sherry.